As you guys know, I'm a fundamental and statistical trader specialized in small cap stocks. One of the most reported stories about me was that time when I flew to Colombia to expose a weed stock scam. There are many articles online about that experience, but what most people don't know is, how did I even find out about that company? So today I want to introduce the stock research firm that I teamed up with on that weed stock expose, White Diamond Research. I will show you guys a real conversation that I had with a CFA investment analyst from White Diamond Research. We were talking about the key findings on this stock, ZKN, and why it's full of red flags that long traders should avoid and how short sellers should approach it. This conversation will give you a feel of how a professional stock analyst breaks down a company and identifies a big trade opportunity. Give this video a like if you're ready for this insightful episode. White Diamond Research is known for their short selling reports on flaky stocks. Whenever they smell something fishy about a publicly traded company, they dive deep into auditing the financials, searching for evidence about the operations, and digging out information that is not even online. Let's switch over to the conversation. What's up, guys? This is David, aka Reverse Long, and today I have Adam Gefvert of White Diamond Research on the podcast. And Adam is one of the analysts at White Diamond Research, and White Diamond Research is coming out with a short report on ZJK. So I wanted to give White Diamond Research a chance to say what they got to say about the report, and their reputation is very good. And yeah, so ZJK, a little background on ZJK. It's a Chinese company, and they do nuts and bolts. So Adam is gonna get into all the details of why ZJK is a short, and it's and all the details behind it. So Adam, okay, so maybe want to give a little quick like rundown on it before we start sharing the screen? Maybe a little
Yeah,
synopsis.
sounds good, David. Yeah, this is just a recent IPO, about 6 months ago, a Ch Chinese company. Yeah. So yeah, you had it right. It's this company. The reality is they just make nuts and bolts, screws, things that put metals together. But it's trying to act like it's an AI company or something that makes liquid cooling systems. And our research has found that that's false. So, we've seen kind of situation like this before, where there's a boring Chinese company, it's in China, and then the insiders want to get rich, so they go on a U.S. exchange, and they pretend to be something they're not, like some sort of weird tech, and upcoming tech with the buzzwords and everything, and then the stock goes nuts, and then they can dump their shares on retail investors that they got for really cheap. And in this case, the pre-IPO investors got shares at 7 cents a piece, 60 million shares, and the lockup expiry is in about 2 weeks.
March 31st.
So
I see. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So you can see on there what I put. That's from the IPO prospectus, and you can see there. You see how they got 60 million shares at 7 cents.
Yep. You right here in red.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the IPO was for $5. So they sold 1.2 million at $5 a piece. So they got, and right now the stock's trading about 450. So they got shares at a fraction, I mean, of the current price. And if they sold all their shares, let's say at $4, I mean, pre-IPO investors would make over $200 million. And they get a huge return. So and some examples that we've seen like ZKIN. They're a Chinese company that makes steel pipes. They got on a U.S. exchange, and they got into like crypto and uh, online gambling just to excite investors and run up the stock price, which it did temporarily. But now those businesses are gone. They weren't making money there, so now they're back to their steel pipe business. And Zekian just did a reverse split, and they're probably going to be delisted pretty soon. Then there's iLag. They did that stock went through the roof. I forgot what technology they're doing, but their
I
real
like
business is
was
doorknobs.
doorknobs. Yeah. So yeah, so to the listeners and the viewers, this is pretty prevalent throughout history. It's like you have these companies that all of a sudden there's a hot trend, a hot sector, or something going on in the overall markets, and they want a piece of that. So they'll try to ride the coattails. And these days we see it with AI, with quantum computing, with in the recent past we saw companies going into NFTs. So the Chinese companies, yeah. So from my experience, I mean, they're mostly opportunities to liquidate. That's what they view the stock as. It's listed in the exchange, like this doorknob company.
All right, so now the false statement that we found that ZJK made is they claim to have a collaboration with Nvidia to help them manufacture liquid cooling systems and is an approved vendor. Our evidence shows that this is false. There's no connection whatsoever between the two companies. So they put out this PR on December 3rd that ZJK Industrial expands collaboration with Nvidia into liquid cooling systems. Now they never had a collaboration in the first place with Nvidia. We show no evidence of that. And it says here that they met and they wanted to recruit ZJK Industrial received a request to produce samples for one of the Nvidia's liquid manifold cooling manifold projects. Now the samples would just be some of ZJK Industrial's like nuts and bolts, because that's all they make is nuts and that's all they have is nuts and bolts that they manufacture. And one thing that you notice from this PR is that Nvidia did not have another quote saying, hey, we're happy to work with ZJK and something like that and see their samples. Nvidia always has like a side-by-side quote with companies that they're working with. I'm sure you've noticed that, right, with PRs, where if a
Yeah,
small company makes a deal with a big company, usually there's an employee from each company with a quote in the PR, right? Yeah, there was nothing here. And
very
now,
very misleading. Yeah, so they're just trying to get the attention from people because Nvidia is the hottest stock in the market. So it's like let's just throw them in there. But yeah, you need the confirmation from the other company as well.
yeah, they're trying to just boost the stock off the Nvidia name, which a lot of companies do. It's a tactic, but it's just not based in truth here. And then if you scroll down lower, you can see the Nvidia. We actually wrote to Nvidia Investor Relations, and this is what they responded. They said we've not released any dual PR. So they made it clear right there that they haven't. There's no dual PR saying with both companies in the PR, and it says our department is not aware of any partnership with the ZJK and us. So Investor Relations said right there that there's no connection with ZJK and Nvidia.
Yeah, they're pretty clear right there.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just, one very strong piece of evidence that we have. And we got some more evidence. Go on to the next page. Okay, so this is the key here is like so all that the company makes is nuts and bolts. That ZGK does not make liquid cooling systems. And NVIDIA doesn't assemble liquid cooling systems either. They buy the whole system from Vertiv and Cool It in order to cool down their GPUs. That they made like if it gets overheated with all the data, they need the liquid cooling systems to cool down their products. And so there's no relation here. There'd be no reason for them to do any business with ZJK. And then I actually even asked ChatGPT. You can see right there, does NVIDIA manufacture liquid cooling systems? And it says no, NVIDIA does not manufacture liquid cooling systems. They collaborate with partners who create custom cooling systems. Now, ZJK does not. It shows what on the website there what their North American office is. So ZJK, it's a Chinese company. They do a lot of business in China, but now they say they have a North American office. And if you look at that address on Google Maps, you can see it's just a residential address. It's not a building. It's not a commercial building, and that's evidence that they really have no presence in North America.
Yeah, that's not a company warehouse or anything. That's a house. So
No, it's
there you
just a
go.
house. So yeah. It's they have no shown apparent real office in North America. Okay, so this is looking at their website. It's like they became an AI company overnight because you can look at their page here. They actually mention that clients include NVIDIA, which we've shown is false, but they say this is our popular high quality AI components. Now look at those components there. It's just a bunch of like nuts and bolts. It's like
Yeah,
screws. Those are not AI components. It's a bunch of like
yeah.
screws and machine, to like connect metal, like machinery. Like if that's an AI component, then anything could be an AI component.
It's like going to the hardware store
Yeah,
and they get
exactly. It's just from the hardware. It even says there's screws and bolts, nuts, stamping parts, stuff like that. And then we went to the Wayback Machine to see the company's website on April 14th, and that was before AI got super popular. And they just have a bunch of 2023 buzzwords like new energy, aircraft manufacturing, um, intelligent wear. It's just basically it's got nothing on AI back in April 2014 on their website. So it's just this new thing they just made up to boost the stock and get investors excited. So now another thing with the revenues is the revenues is pretty shady because over 50% is from a related party, their subsidiary, which has almost this exact same name, PSM ZJK.
Very interesting. Well, Adam, thanks for the report. And yeah, a lot of this stuff. Uh, yeah, it's good to make the investors aware of pe retail traders or retail people that come in buying because this company is just a nuts and bolts company. It's very important to understand. It's like, okay, they can say AI, they can say Nvidia, but like, the reality is it's a nuts and bolts company, and the reality is Nvidia didn't confirm that collaboration or partnership or whatever they had. So how do you feel after hearing our conversation? This is what it takes to become a high win rate short seller, especially at the hedge fund level of accuracy. There was a lot of evidence-based analysis as well as a reverse psychology to understand the motives of the insiders, how they would potentially pump this stock, what's the ideal timing for them, and what are the legal methods that they can use. If you enjoy more videos like this, please hit the like button and comment short report to let me know that you are interested. I want to make sure that I make videos that you guys need. Check out this playlist of all my free trading tutorials to learn more realistic trading strategies.